Hello and welcome to the Wedding Dish Podcast. Grab your fork and knife and take a seat at our table as we dish on all things weddings. You'll hear stories and tips from real couples and wedding pros about life, love, and entrepreneurship. I am Sarah Alapin, your host on the Wedding Dish Podcast and the CEO of Photos from the Harty and District Bliss. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Wedding Dish today. You've got a solo episode with just me today. And I'm actually kind of excited about this because I was thinking about some questions I would have had surrounding my wedding and photography prior to getting married. And I came up with a list for you all. So we're going to talk about ceremony today. So ceremony photography and just a couple tips. So the first one is, of course, to make sure you are relaxed and you feel good and that you're comfortable with whatever you have planned for your ceremony. The next thing is, once you get up there, take a minute and look at the people who are sitting there to celebrate you. It really is a tone set moment to see how many people are there because they love you and they want to celebrate and support you. And it's really just beautiful and lovely, and it connects you with your people. So it makes for really beautiful photos for the rest of the ceremony because you're much more centered and everyone there feels your connection to them as well. So the reaction photos from your guests are also really beautiful and lovely and just warm. The next thing is while you're up there, hold hands when possible. So it always looks really nice when couples hold hands. It also really gives you something to do with your hands. You'll be surprised that once you're up there, you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, especially with things like your hands. So it's really helpful to hold hands. The next tip I have for you is to put when you do the ring exchange, if that's something that you're doing during your ceremony, make sure your hands are on the side of the audience / the photographer when you do the ring exchange. Recently, I had a couple who had the microphone stand in front of their hands. And while I know they still love the photos, I'm sure that was a thing that they thought to themselves, I wish I had realized. And that's a moment. I mean, most times I will intervene when I want to change a pose if I have to. I try not to because I don't want to disrupt your day. But that is a moment that I cannot intervene. I'm not stopping your ceremony to tell you to put your hands in front of the mic stand. And they aren't, they may not be the most important photos of your day. So it's not a huge deal, but it is a good thing to keep in mind, to put your hands in a place where when you're doing the action, they are on the side where the photographer is and where your guests are. For the photo purposes. So just a little tip there. If you are carrying a bouquet or something that you have handed off to someone else during the ceremony, make sure before you turn around to grab that bouquet. And I jumped a step here. When you do your first kiss, I mean, obviously make sure the microphone is not between you and the photographer there either, but kiss 3 times. The reason I say that, and that probably sounds a little bit funny, but one, it's so much faster than you think. So even though it feels like you're kissing for like 10 minutes up there because you have all these eyes on you, it's like an eighth of a millisecond. So, and it also, when you kiss 3 times, it resets your level of excitement and happiness every time. So it makes you kind of just naturally smile a little bit because you're happy and you're in love and it's, you're officially married. So kiss 3 times. It makes for really good photos and it's just super cute. It's also really fun in the moment and for you and your guests. So, which is always, of course, the goal is that you should enjoy your wedding day and have beautiful photos that document that wedding day. And then grab your bouquet if you carry one, or whatever you have potentially carried, grab back if you have passed that off. And when you come down and do your recessional down the aisle or walk away from wherever it was that you were standing to get married, stop about halfway and kiss again. These photos are super fun. It's just a moment of pure joy between couples. Everyone around you is so excited, especially if they're throwing like eco-friendly confetti or waving ribbons. Or I actually had to NASA, a couple who they both work for NASA, and they had their programs folded into paper airplanes. They had like a diagram on the back. So everyone folded them into paper airplanes and threw those at the ceremony, which was super cute. But it makes for really fun photos. And, if you want to throw your bouquet up in the air, not throw, but like, hold it up in the air or put your hands in the air or whatever. All of those things are super cute in that moment. It's also really cute to stop and do a dip kiss if that's your vibe. So, of course, all of this should work within who you are as a couple. You should never do something that doesn't feel natural to you because the photos won't look natural. So, of course, take all of this advice with a grain of salt and make it what works for you. But if your vibe is to throw your hands in the air and cheer or do a dip kiss halfway down the aisle, it's just really cute. It makes for really cute photos every time. So those are just a few fast ceremony tips that will give you really good photos, even if your ceremony is short and sweet. And you will have a beautiful documented set of moments that you can treasure forever. And let me know if you like this type of episode. I'm totally cool with like giving you tips about the whole wedding day and what you should think about for your photos. I hadn't actually ever thought about that as being a thing, but I feel like it's really helpful. So if you all want to reach out to me on social media and let me know if this was helpful, I would really appreciate it, because then I will do a whole series of like what to think about for your getting ready photos and why you may or may not want to do them. That's probably a good topic too. So let me know at the Wedding Dish Podcast. You can find me there on Instagram, and on Facebook too, although I rarely check it. And if you want show notes for this or any of the various things that you can find on our website, it is theweddingdishpodcast.com. And give us a follow, rate, and review if you like the show. It really does help us get discovered by more people. And don't forget to tune in next week. Well, actually, you know what? I should tell you, I am taking a mid-season break. I have a huge project coming up, and it's wedding season, so I need a little break from recording. So you're going to have a couple weeks off here during the summer, and I will be back, don't worry, with some great content, but I do just need a little extra time. So don't worry about next week. But I will be back soon. And give us a follow, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. Feel free to reach out. If you have episode suggestions, you can always reach out. And if you want to come on the show, you should reach out too. I love having awesome new guests. So until I chat with you all again, cheers. Have a great day.